My profound apologies for the delay in the briefing. Usually we try and run on time, but these, as you know, are extraordinary times. To continue from where my colleagues had left off yesterday, the Home Minister was in Uttarakhand today. He assessed the situation firsthand. The Chief Minister of Uttarakhand has just finished briefing, or his briefing still continues. While I was waiting for some papers to come in, I was also watching what he had to say. But to update you with the rescue and relief efforts, I would give you a broad overview of what has happened between yesterday and today. And then, of course, we have officers from the various agencies whose people are there on the ground who are working, and they would take any questions which you may like to ask. I think the first thing which needs to be emphasized is that all agencies of the Government of India and the state government are continuing to work in a coordinated manner for rescue and relief measures. I would like to underscore the fact that in a coordinated manner, because I've seen certain reports which seem to suggest as if there is a lack of coordination. Let me clearly and absolutely, in a very unambiguous manner, reiterate that coordination, given the situation on the ground, to the best extent that it can be achieved, it is being done in a harmonious and a seamless manner. Today, 10,000 people were evacuated by air and road to safer places. The total figure of those who have been evacuated now stands at 70,000. 70,000. Cabinet Secretary held a meeting of the National Crisis Management Committee this evening, and the meeting continued a little late, which that is why we had to delay our briefing by half an hour. The Indo-Tibetan Border Police has evacuated 4,000 people today. The point of concern is a place called Jungle Chetty, where about 400 to 500 people are still there. The army has already reached Jungle Chetty. Only 70 to 80 people are left in Kedarnath now. Operations 70 to 80 people, 70 से 80 लोग केदारनाथ में अभी वहाँ पर हैं, and operations are on. Hopefully they would be over by tomorrow. Foot tracks have also been made from Jungle Chetty. Army is helping able-bodied to come down the foot tracks. Gagaria has been evacuated. No one has been left in Gagaria. The National Disaster Rescue Force, if I get the acronym correctly, NDRF has rescued 143 persons from Gaurikund. There are 149 sadhus which continue to remain there. They apparently do not want to leave. A medical camp has been set up in Gupta Kashi. The army has rescued 4,000 people today, of which 2,000 were in critical areas. 390 people were evacuated by helicopters. Able-bodied are being helped to walk down by road wherever possible. There are about 100 people still left in Hemkund Sahib, but information suggests that there is enough food, water and other supplies which are available there. Badrinath areas have about 8,000 pilgrims are still there. Army will airlift 2 bridges to Gauchar tomorrow morning. The National Institute of Mountaineering, their personnel are also being utilized by the army. Railways are moving people and relief supplies free of charge. no one is waiting at the station in Hardwar. That's what the Railways has to report. The Indian Air Force, despite weather problems, 150 sorties were done till today afternoon. 1,355 persons were airlifted today. The C-130 was utilized to evacuate more than 100 persons. A forward air base has been established at Dharasu. The total number of aircrafts which have been deployed in this operation are as follows: 43 helicopters of the Indian Air Force, 11 of the Army, and 7 private helicopters. Total 61 helicopters are a part of the operation. 2 more are going to be deployed tomorrow. Petroleum, the focus is on ensuring that there are enough supplies of aviation turbine fuel at Gauchar. IF needs about 55 kiloliters every day to keep the operation going. On the telecommunications front, as I reported yesterday in the afternoon, and that information must have been updated by my colleagues in the evening, 167 towers out of 287 towers have been restored today. 167 out of 287. 287 में से 167 जो संचार के टावर हैं उनको रिस्टोर कर दिया गया है और ये उम्मीद है कि बाकियों पे भी काम कल पूरा हो जाएगा. Insofar as the ATF is concerned, the aviation turbine fuel, there has been, as I had earlier reported, an attempt made to see that it is fully augmented and so that there is no disruption in the operation. Wherever backup supplies are required, they have been requisitioned. Police escorts are being provided to see that those supplies reach the destined areas on time. LPG is also being accessed from both the Hardwar and the Haldwani bottling plants to ensure that people on the ground have access to LPG, and plus it is available to all those people who are engaged in the rescue and relief effort, so that the local demands could also be taken care of. And similarly, we have a report with regard to motor spirit, high-speed diesel, and other lubes and oils which are required. In adequate quantity, they are being provided to the people who are engaged in the rescue efforts and the other locals on the ground. We also have a status report from the government of Uttarakhand, which has come in at 4 p.m. today, which lists out the casualty figure. And I would like to emphasize that given the fact that operations are continuing, given the fact that the rescue agencies are operating in terrain which is inhospitable, to say the least, these figures could be tentative. So therefore, I am only giving out figures which have come in from the Uttarakhand government as of 4 p.m. today. But please do bear in mind that these figures could be tentative, and these figures obviously are subject to revision. I would like to caveat it with that. The total number of dead people is unfortunately 557. People injured is 412. They have made some tentative assessments of the damage which has been done to residential property, to bridges, to the roads which have been damaged. As I reported that, about 70,000 people have been evacuated, and the persons stranded, according to this report, is about 22,000 people are still stranded. And so therefore they have, given an update to the National Crisis Management Committee with regard to what their feedback is on the ground. But needless to stress, as operations are still continuing, these figures are tentative. These figures obviously would be subject to revision. That essentially is, I think, the substantive part of what I had to report today. And I would turn the floor over to Mrs. Kapoor, and she would conduct the.
I'll request General Bhatia from the Army, if you would like to add a few points to what the Honourable Minister has said.
The operations are going on well coordinated. We are addressing the critical areas. Our people have been out, the pilgrims have stranded out there for some time. The aim is to reach out to everyone, rescue everyone, give them initially medical aid because they've been out and they're most dehydrated and weak, give them food, shelter, and get them to the roadhead and evacuate them from there. The critical areas being, one is in Kedarnath and Kedarnath Jungle Chatti, where we have been able to evacuate 390 by helicopters today, by the Army helicopters which had gone in small ones. And we also made a foot track and got 110 persons out by the foot track. This was possible because yesterday we were able to insert a special forces there by helicopters. The helicopters couldn't land, and we had to prepare a helipad using explosives out there. The helicopter which had gone down was to be pushed aside, and the helipad is operational out there. Hopefully, if the weather clears tomorrow, all the people from this area, Jungle Chatti and Rampara, would have been evacuated by tomorrow afternoon. So we pray for good weather and get everyone out. Ghagaria has been fully evacuated. We got about 100 odd people out there who are sealing the Hemkot Sahib Gurdwara, and as and when they want to come out, we'll get them out. There were a report of 62 trekkers in Pendari Glacier, out of which there were nearly 50 children. They were pulled out yesterday, and they have reached the roadhead. Less 15 of them. They are under our charge, and we'll be able to evacuate them to safety. In the area of Harsal, at Gangotri, the last report which we got was there were just two pilgrims left out there. They were weak, the vehicles were there, so we are trying to send 2 drivers up. We got some sort of a makeshift road for the light vehicle to go up and get them out on the vehicles. At Harsal, there were 2,000 pilgrims with us right now. Another 600 have started moving down towards Bhatwari. We also have our Mountaineering Institute people and Army, which is moving up from Uttarkashi. And collecting all the stragglers en route, we'll group them together, and hopefully another day or two of clear weather, we should be able to get them all out. The criticality has been quite well taken care of in that particular axis. Badrinath, of course, people are safe out there, there in Badrinath. And Janki Chatti on the Yamunotri axis, we should be able to reach by tomorrow morning. That's the aim. There is a road slide at Barkot, and once we overcome that, we'll be able to reach out that. 2 bridges, as the Honorable Minister said, has been flown down today. And once we get the bridge on the Alaknanda, that is the Badrinath axis at Pandukeshwar, we made a Burma bridge today. So if we have some stragglers from there who are willing to come out, we'll take them out by foot. Otherwise, we will launch the bridge with the help of the border roads, and this will be good for light vehicles. And the second bridge will be on the Kedarnath axis. We also put in some additional special forces people today. Aim is to reach out to everyone. And there are certain areas which we may think there's no one out there. We'll have to comb the complete area, see if there are any stragglers, any left behind people out there. We also want to push in more engineers and medical teams out there, and that is what it is.
I'll request Air Marshal Deov if you would like to add anything to what the Honourable Minister has said.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll start with the weather. The weather wasn't as good as we had hoped. Yesterday we lost a lot of sorties because of adverse weather. We couldn't penetrate, sir. So this time we had launched a C-130. At first light, he was all over the valleys, and he gave good feedback on the weather. And we didn't waste any sorties. We knew just when it was the right time to go. The other thing that was done today was we established an air bridge to Dharasu. Dharasu was made into a full-fledged air base, but there was no road connectivity there. So in a typical innovative fashion, what we did was we sent a C-130 there full of fuel. It decaded into Bowsers. These Bowsers were sent there by the Mi-26. Mi-26, as most of you know, is the biggest helicopter in the world. That was also deployed. And that made operations possible from Dharasu. Dharasu is the one air base that is helping out operations on the Yamunotri and Harsal axis. The other thing that we did was in Jungle Chatti, it's a great example of teamwork where ITBP people were lowered from the V5s and ALH of the Air Force and the Army also came in. That helicopter was cleared. The helicopter that had crashed there was, put aside, and we managed to extricate a lot of people from there. The weather prognosis tomorrow is going to be similar. I'm happy to report that in spite of adverse weather, because of forward locations, particularly at Gaucha, we have got 9 aircraft, 9 helicopters there. We have managed to rescue almost 2,000 people, sir. These are the latest figures. I was a little delayed getting these figures. And we have done more than about 300 sorties. 43 aircraft of the fixed wing and C-130s have done 6 sorties, extricated some casualties and passengers from Dharasu. They come straight to Hindon. Tomorrow a medical team is going to Dharasu, setting up a full-fledged medical establishment there. From Gaucha, we hope to clear off this access of Kedarnath, Garuchetti with the Army's help. We should be able to make sure that most of the people who are stuck there, particularly the critical people, they are extricated. From Pithoragarh sector, weather unfortunately just didn't clear up. At Bageshwar, we managed to send an aircraft and 2-3 people were left from this 40 people who were not too well. They were taken off from Bageshwar. So all in all, just to give you the figure, statistics, 300 odd sorties, 2,000 odd people extricated, about 40,000 tons of load placed, that includes load with the Army and all. Totally we have done close to about 900 sorties and 6,000 people have been evacuated, close to 6,000 people have been evacuated and 100,000 kgs of load has been moved. And close to about 300 people inserted at various locations, particularly para-SFs, ITBP, and other people. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. May I now request the officer from ITBP?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As already mentioned by the minister, we have evacuated almost 4,000 people today. And I'll add a little bit about the Badrinath situation. Our people, already we have a company stationed there. They are visiting the hotels and other establishments there and enquiring the welfare about the people stranded there. We have opened up road from Badrinath, almost 8 kilometers that road is through. From Badrinath towards Joshimath, the vehicle can fly. After that, there is a big hassle, there is a bridge which has been washed away. Our mountaineering and ski institutes, people are there. They have already established a rope way. Through that, our people started crossing over, but it is not cleared for the public movement. After that, the barring 6 kilometers, rest all foot track already been made. And hopefully tomorrow the BRO will patch up and they will bring the belly bridge. Otherwise, through ropeway also, probably by tomorrow forenoon, the rescue can start from there. And as the Hasil sector, from Hasil, some of the Yatris, they started trekking, started coming down to Uttarakashi. That is blocked from Hasil to Uttarakashi road is yet to be cleared. As a result, some of the Yatris are stranded in between the villages, and our small party teams going to place and rescuing them and bringing down to Uttarakashi. From Uttarakashi, further to Rishikesh, the road is through. And our small teams are being sent to border villages to inquire about the welfare. And we got the input that all the border villages are safe. Yesterday, one of the reporter, he has just mentioned that he got an SMS that some of the people were trapped in the Spiti Valley. Our nearest post, Kaja, we given direction to them. They checked and it was reported that there are 41 foreigners as well as 21 Indian tourists were stranded in Tabo. It is a monastery. It is a Buddhist monastery. From where 7 Israeli, they were not keeping well. They were ill. They have been evacuated. Rest of people are safe. There are some hotels available. They are checked into hotel. They are safe. Probably by late today, that road will be through to Kaja, and from Kaja further, they can come down. That is the situation. We have inquired about that. And you know that when the Kailas Manosavar Yatra is on, the first batch of Yatra, that is, as per schedule, it is progressing. They are in Gunji. There is a place called Gunji in Kumau Hills. All of them are safe. Out of 53 Yatris, only 2 people, they opted not to go ahead. They are in our campus. And remaining 53, they are, as per the KM Yatra schedule, it is progressing. All of them are safe. And the batch 2nd to 10th KM Yatra, of course, government has taken a decision to cancel that. And that's the situation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I now request Brigadier Kataria of the Border Roads Organization to supplement what the Honorable Minister said.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Most of the points have already been covered. Just to augment the data, the primary responsibility in those areas is keeping the road access open so that all the teams and all the resources which are moving in move to their destined location. Road from Rishikesh up to Joshimath, we have opened it initially for the light vehicles, and now heavy vehicles are moving on because the ATF and all these stores have to move in forward areas. Similarly, Rishikesh towards Uttarkashi, the road has been opened for light vehicles initially, and ATF Bowsers are also moving on that to support the operations ex-Darasu. Similarly, on the other smaller axes, it's been covered by my colleagues in detail. I will not go into the details. We are working on both the axes, Badrinath axis as well as Kedarnath axis, trying to, we have already brought in some bridges which have flown in, and they are moving overnight by road, flown in till Dehradun, and thereafter moving in by road, and we will try and launch them at the earliest to connect wherever connectivity is required. We have put in almost 90 major equipments, that is in the form of dozers, excavators, and JCBs in these areas, which are working relentlessly. Almost 3,500 people are working in opening of these roads. Thank you.
Thank you. I now request the representative from NDRF to please give us some details.
Good evening. As far as NDRF is concerned, we are operating in one of the most difficult axes, that is from Rudraprayag to Kedarnath. And on this axis, our 10 teams are operating. So since morning to the latest report which we got 10 minutes before, so far 120 victims have been evacuated by us from Gaurikund, and there was one dead body which was recovered. In general area, Jungle Chatti, there have been problem. Yesterday, one helipad was made, but it was not operational. In the morning also, there was problem. So NDRF personnel, they made another helipad over there. And as a result of which, the rescue operation could be carried on, made successful today. So 470 victims have been evacuated from that helipad. That includes 300 evacuation has taken place by road, and it is 170, correction, it is 300 evacuated by air and 170 by road. 145 personals were not evacuated till the last report, probably by the end of the day must have been evacuated. In fact, here our teams, they got slithered on from the helicopter in the general area, and then they fanned out in the different directions, and they could rescue this large number of people. As far as the Kedarnath is concerned, total 153 personals were rescued today. There have been 149 sadhus who are not ready to get evacuated. Yes, today the dead bodies were identified by our personals, 83 dead bodies, and those have been handed over to the police. Now the police presence has been seen on these areas, as a result of which handing over and identification of body has become a bit easier. With the help of our communication set, EMR set, we have been able to assist the people. They could talk to their family members. So that was also done, and tomorrow this frequency will be further increased. So by this way, today we could rescue total 740 victims and 83 dead bodies. There at Gupt Kashi, we have got one medical camp, and there we could give treatment to the injured, 487 since yesterday. Today at a place called Rambada, there have been one very emotional kind of scene, that one person from Lucknow. He was dead, and his son, 14-year son, was there. He was found nearby in the jungle area, and that son was evacuated to the safer place subsequently. Situation as far as tomorrow is concerned, we have planned that we should carry out this operation in Jangal Chatti, Rambada, and Kedarnath, where we are expecting that people may be around. Our high level officials, one DIG and 2 commandants, are leading these operations in those areas. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The floor is now open for questions. Yes, please. One moment. The lady first, please. Thank
My
you.
question is to General Bhatia. Sir, you have a lot of army establishment, particularly in Joshimath, and also in Mana you have a small presence of army. The ITBP presence is also there in these areas. So has there been any damage to the personnel there? I mean, were they also victims?
No, we have had no damage to the personnel, damage to some assets are out there, but our personnel was safe. We had a JCO who had unfortunately died in the Kinnar sector, in the Poo area. That was on the first day. And another JCO was injured out there. But other than that, our people are safe. We have a total deployment of about 6,200 out there right now. Everyone is on the move. Everyone is helping out with the rescue operations. Fortunately, till now, we are safe.
There is a perfect coordination among agencies. But today, a statement of Home Minister sparked little controversy about it. He said that lack of coordination is hampering the rescue effort, and BJP grabbed the issue. Do you think this is right time to do politics? And secondly, is it right time to enhance coordination?
Look, I think one thing needs to be made very explicit and needs to be underscored, that all elements of national power are being brought to bear on this rescue operation. Yes, the terrain is inhospitable, the weather at times is inclement, so therefore there could be certain operational difficulties. But insofar as coordination is concerned, let me stress, let me reiterate, let me underscore, there is absolutely no problem with regard to coordination. Yes, there could be difficulties because of terrain, because of weather, with regard to how you carry out a particular operation. But I don't think that needs to be confused with the fact that there's any lack of coordination. There is seamless coordination between the agencies on the ground, and there is coordination between the union and the state insofar as this rescue effort is concerned.
Yes, please.
सर आपने कोऑर्डिनेशन की बात की उसका क्या अनुमान होगा?
देखिए, मैंने कल भी इस बात के ऊपर जोर दिया था कि उत्तराखंड में जो बचाव के कार्य हैं और जो राहत पहुंचाने के कार्य हैं वो चल रहे हैं। तो ये नहीं है कि उत्तराखंड की सरकार आपको एक खबर दे रही है और हम कोई और बात कह रहे हैं, तो उसमें कोई विरोधाभास है। जब कोई भी ऑपरेशन चलता होता है तो कभी कभी जो राज्य सरकार है उसके पास शायद जो खबर है वो थोड़ी सी क्या कहते हैं जो एजेंसीज़ के पास खबर है या जो ज़मीन पे काम कर रहे हैं उससे थोड़ी भिन्न हो सकती है। पर इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि जो बिग पिक्चर है उस बिग पिक्चर से हमको अपनी आंख उठानी चाहिए। जो बड़ी तस्वीर है वो ये है कि इस राहत कार्य में, इस बचाव कार्य में पूरी तरह से जो केंद्र सरकार है और राज्य सरकार है और जो एजेंसीज ग्राउंड पे काम कर रही हैं उनमें पूरी तरह का संतुलन है।
Yes.
Manish.
Well, I think I will,
Our weather forecast, we have a numerical simulation model that tells us about the weather. The weather tomorrow is likely to be the same as today. Today it wasn't as good as we had hoped, but in spite of that we had done more number of sorties. And the problem that we are worried about are the rains that are likely Monday, Tuesday onwards, where we anticipate rains. And in the current situation where the ground is saturated, you will find even 3-4 centimeters of rain. It might affect the pest, it might hamper our work. And as Air Force, we are concerned with penetrating valleys. You can't penetrate valleys if the valleys are covered with clouds. So that is one problem that we anticipate after 2 days.
Manish, there are several reports which are saying that there is an acute, the government and its agencies are looking into this problem and solving them.
well, Obviously, you know, when you are conducting an operation over such a large area where, as I've emphasized, the terrain is inhospitable, which has been made all the more complicated because of the situation which has evolved. So there could be problems of distribution on the ground. I don't think anybody can really wish that away, or anybody can gloss over that. But to the best extent possible, agencies which are engaged in rescue and relief, state government, civil administration, wherever it has been able to resurrect itself, is doing its best possible to see that distribution gets streamlined. Unfortunately, I've also seen some reports which have come in today. You know, when you have a tragedy or when you have a situation of this magnitude, it at times, you know, brings out the best and the worst in human nature.
There are also reports that hotels are charging exorbitantly.
It is precisely what I said, that in such a situation, it brings out the best and the worst in human nature. I think, you know, if at all people are indulging any activity of this kind, it is indeed most unfortunate, and they really need to introspect about their own humanitarian values.
Yeah, Manish, there are some reports in the newspaper that thousands and thousands of people are missing. So are you getting, are there any government agencies are getting any calls from the missing members' family? Or when you say 22,000 people are still perhaps stranded there, so those missing persons included those stranded persons, or there are more? Any information on that?
Well, that's why when I put the figures which had come in from the government of Uttarakhand in the public domain, I caveated it by saying that, look, there is an operation which is still underway. These figures are tentative, these figures are subject to revision. And I don't think at this point in time it's correct to make a distinction between the stranded and the missing. I think we should allow the rescue operation to play itself out. And as the gentlemen whose agencies are working or whose forces are working on the ground have briefed you, that the effort is to try and see that we should get every conceivable possible person out. So therefore, let the operation play itself out. And as and when, you know, we have data which is not more reliable, but which is more profound, I think it would be better at that point in time to take stock. But I would like to appeal at this point in time. I think it is important that all of us realize the magnitude of the tragedy. And we should try and detract from any form of sensationalism which in any manner impacts upon the rescue effort. I think that's an appeal which, as responsible Indian citizens, I think all of us need to take cognizance of.
11 आर्मी के और 7 प्राइवेट हेलीकॉप्टर्स लगे हैं। ये हेलीकॉप्टर किस तरह के हैं? एक बार में एक हेलीकॉप्टर में कितने लोगों को रेस्क्यू किया जाता है? और गिवन सर्कमस्टांसेस में क्या और ज़्यादा हेलीकॉप्टर लगाए जाने की ज़रूरत है या पॉसिबिलिटी है?
हेलीकॉप्टर स्टार्ट विद चीता, विच इज़ द स्मॉलेस्ट एंड, जिसमें सिर्फ जिस हाइट पे हेलीकॉप्टर जाता है उस पे वो डिपेंड करता है, और टेम्परेचर कितना रहता है। तो चीता में सिर्फ 2 ही लोग आ सकते हैं। और दूसरा है Mi-26, जो दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा हेलीकॉप्टर है, वो भी यहाँ काम कर रहा है। उसमें आ सकते हैं एक टाइम में 60 से 70 लोग आ सकते हैं, और 20 tons of load it can take, or it can take 60 to 70 people, depending on what altitude it is flying and what is the temperature at that time. Insofar as other in-between helicopters are concerned, our workhorse is the V5, Mi-17 V5. The 3 versions of Mi-17s which are operating: Mi-17, Mi-17 1V, and Mi-17 V5. V5 is the most modern helicopter. That is our first helicopter of choice that we use to penetrate weather in the valley. It's got a very good autopilot. It's got a weather radar. Whatever this helicopter tells us, the other helicopters follow. I must also mention here that our own helicopter that we have manufactured, ALH, is doing a wonderful job. And this helicopter is made by HAL. It's very nimble. It is also modern. We have 2 kinds of ALHs. one which is being used by our aerobatic team, that is also being pressed into service. And the other one, a more modern one, which has also got glass cockpit. This helicopter can take 5 to 6 people.
So would you be able to give me the breakup of all those 93 and 11 helicopters? How many?
I got it here. Can I give it to you a little later?
The 22,000 still stranded. Now, if the weather deteriorates after tomorrow,
Do you have any alternate plan in place if air evacuation is not possible?
Well, obviously, when you plan and execute a rescue effort of this magnitude, you do take contingencies into account. And I think at this point in time, it's not important to put the cart before the horse. Let's see how the weather plays out tomorrow. But the one thing that I would like to assure you on behalf of all those who are engaged in this rescue effort, that whenever an operation of this nature is planned out, contingencies which may arise are always factored in.
Sir.
Right. Okay. You see, the roads are cut off, it's known to everyone. So effort is first to get the foot track to the road, to get everyone to the road, bridge the road for light vehicles, clear it for light vehicles, and then subsequently clear it for heavier vehicles. We have actually achieved quite a bit with our troops out there, the border roads and the plant we've got. The roads have moved quite ahead. In the area of Kedarnath, the road is going up to Fata. There's an alternate access from Fata, which is up to Rishikesh. We got the foot tracks now, not only moving from Gaurikund to Fata, but also from Jungle Chatti to Gaurikund. That's what I was trying to say. So people who are able-bodied can be moved on foot with given the requisite support, whereas the sick, the children and the ladies are being evacuated by air. That's a priority. And moment and a lot of places we're already moving from south to north, and the roads have come up and the roads are progressing well. And in two of the places where there are major criticalities, we'll launch what we call the class 3 bridges, which are good enough for light vehicles, that is up to a Tata Sumo or a Innova. So once that is through in the next couple of days, all the people will be able to come using those vehicles out. And then once they come to, let's say in the Badrinath, come down to, what's the place? Govind Ghat. Then we got the road there. Then we'll take them out to Joshimath and onwards to Srinagar and beyond. So that is the concept.
Sir, communication still remains a problem. Can you give us some idea of how many satellite phones you've deployed for the rescue and relief operations? And is there a shortage of satellite phones? Are you going to increase the number of satellite phones for this purpose?
Five of them have been.
Today, 25 satellite telephones we received from the Tata Telecommunication, and that has been distributed to ITBP, Indian Air Force, BRO, and NDRF. Today evening, by 9 o'clock, the flight, we are getting 50 satellite telephone from Kongong. And I am made responsible to collect that, and my representative has already reached the airport for collecting that. And these telephones are also, will be distributed for the rescue and relief operations, as well as for the communication purpose.
In addition, what we are doing is we got our communications all over. The moment we get hold of any of the pilgrims around, the first thing attempt is to make him speak to someone, so that there is a relief. Because the people out there know what is happening. People at home are very worried. They don't know what's happening. So the first thing we do is, through our communications network, we make him speak home.
This is coming from Congo. I am not exactly, I do not know. It is being imported by the Ministry of Communication. So that.
सर, इस घटना के बाद देहरादून पहुंचने वाले VIPs की संख्या VIP मूवमेंट्स बढ़ गया है, और इसको लेकर एक विवाद और बहस भी है. आप सरकार की तरफ से ये अपील करना चाहेंगे कि वहाँ उतने ही लोग जाएं और इस मौके पर ज़्यादा VIP मूवमेंट वहाँ ना हो, ताकि स्टेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को वीआईपी मूवमेंट इंश्योर करने में ज़्यादा दिक्कतें ना।
देखिए, जो आपने जज्बात जाहिर किए हैं, मैं उससे इत्तेफाक रखता हूँ। वहाँ पर उत्तराखंड में उन्हीं लोगों को जाना चाहिए जिन लोगों का जाना ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि इस समय हमारा सारा ध्यान, हमारी प्राथमिकता ये है कि किस तरह से बचाव कार्यों को और ज़्यादा सशक्त और सुदृढ़ बनाया जाए। तो मैं किसी राजनीतिक वाद विवाद में नहीं पड़ना चाहता, कोई टिप्पणी और प्रतिक्रिया नहीं करना चाहता। सिर्फ इतना ज़रूर कहना चाहूँगा कि इस समय जो प्राथमिकता है, जो संवेदनशीलता है, उसको संज्ञान में लेते हुए उन्हीं लोगों को जाना चाहिए जिन लोगों का जाना ज़रूरी है।
General Bhatia, you yourself a paratrooper, and today, in fact, was the day of paratroopers in Uttarakhand. In many places, they descended, like a Devdoot in Devbhoomi. Would you give us some details about paratroopers today, what they did?
Well, they did the job और अपना काम किया, उन्होंने अच्छी तरह से किया है। अगर हमें सबसे ज़्यादा खुशी होगी, रियली हैप्पीएस्ट, अगर हम सबको वहाँ से ठीक ठाक अपने घर पहुँचा सके तो। मुश्किल जगह थी वहाँ पर, क्योंकि गौरीकुंड और केदारनाथ के बीच में जो रास्ता है बहुत नैरो है, और जो स्ट्रीम्स थी वो अभी लगभग रिवर्स बन गई हैं, क्योंकि इतना पानी ऊपर से आ रहा है, और दे आर ऑल कट ऑफ, एंड वहाँ पर हम पहुँच नहीं पा रहे थे। तो हमने उनको इंसर्ट किया थ्रू स्पेशल हेलीबॉर्न ऑपरेशंस, स्लिदरिंग ऑपरेशंस करके उनको ऊपर मूव किया। वहाँ पर एक्सप्लोजिव्स लिए, इंजीनियर्स लिए, हेलीपैड बनाया, और फिर हेलीकॉप्टर लैंड किया, सो दैट ऑल द चिल्ड्रन एंड द लेडीज कुड एंड द सिक कुड बी इवैक्यूएटेड फ्रॉम देयर। वी आर कैरिंग स्पेशल माउंटेनियरिंग इक्विपमेंट एंड वी got the track going. I think they have done a good job. गौरीकुंड में तो नीचे हैं, गौरीकुंड और केदारनाथ के बीच में लगभग 300-350 होंगे, और अगर कल हमें क्लियर वेदर मिल जाता है, मैं आपको आश्वासन दिलाना चाहता हूँ, हम सबको निकाल लेंगे। और अगर क्लियर वेदर नहीं मिलता है, जो एबल बॉडीड है उनको सबको जरूर निकाल लेंगे। पहले हम जैसे हमको शॉर्टेज मिलेगी, जितने वहाँ पर लेडीज़ हैं, जितने बच्चे को निकाल लेंगे, उसके पूरे मिला के।
If that would be all.
Okay, last question, please.
Well, ma'am, I am really not in a position to answer that question because I don't have information on it. You flagged it for our attention. If at all there would be anything, I would get back to you on that. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies once again for the delay.
Thank you. Please have a cup of tea before.